Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Martin here from Unrealistic. Your favorite Chad from Poland is back. What's poppin'? Ladies and gentlemen, so today we're gonna talk about the dark side of being handsome. And this is something that's rather unpopular to talk about, but it's a real thing, and I swear to God, particularly after my glow up journey, bro, this happens more often than you think. Because we all hear about all the good things and all the amazing experiences that happen to attractive people, and at the same time, and this is going to sound very strange, you're also going to experience a lot of negativity in your day-to-day experiences. And in this video, we're going to talk about 4 points to be exact. So I'm just going to jump right into it, man. Number one, first of all, you're going to be hated for no reason by men and women, most importantly. And this is so strange because, the thing is, a lot of the times you can be minding your own business. You're just walking in, man. You're standing tall. You're confident. You're working for the things that you want. But people will always approach you with this look. And I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about here, especially like if you go to the gym or when you're like at work or at school. Or everywhere, like anywhere really, people, especially men, I found, they're going to give you this jealous look. I really don't know how to explain it. It's almost like they would kind of like look you up and down, and you can see that jealousy, bro, right away. And they're going to be envious, man. That's just how it is. And you can be a cool dude, you can be chill, bro, you can vibe with people, but people will, especially men, they're always going to find a way to criticize you. Anywhere. At work, especially at work, bro, that's when it gets really weird, and you're usually gonna be subject to a lot of scrutiny. And you can be fantastic, you can be chill, but the point is, people are gonna overlook a lot of the good qualities about you just because you're attractive and you're good looking. And particularly if you're someone like me, you're working hard, you're proud of how you look, you've been consistent, and you embody the traits of someone who's high value, bro, that's when it gets worse. But also when it comes to women, I feel like you're also gonna meet women who will just straight up be jaded around you. They're always gonna try to give you these little comments, every now and then. Like, oh, who do you think you are? You think you're just Mr. Good Looking guy now? Oh, of course it's Martin, man. Of course it's him. He's the guy who's stupid. He can't do anything. They're going to give you these little sarcastic comments, or usually they're very low key, but in reality, they're going to masquerade and mask them like they're just as a joke, right? But they're not. They actually mean it, which actually leads me to my next point. When you're attractive as a man, you're going to attract a lot of shallow relationships with men and women. A lot of people will just use you for your looks. They're going to hang around you because they know you're attractive, and with that being said, you're going to raise their status just because you're attractive. And as a matter of fact, you're also going to meet a lot of women. Bro, this happened to me recently at my last job. I was talking to this one chick, and she's pretty cool, by the way. But recently I found out that, she was just hanging with me. She was just being around me. She was just lingering around me for my attention. She just wanted to be with me because, she's kind of mid-looking though. She's a nice chick. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to, bash on her here. I don't want to bash on her here. But she was just using me. She was just stringing me along. And I really didn't care. But I found that, it's like, I actually did ask her out, by the way, but she rejected me. It happens. It happens to attractive dudes as well. And so, but long story short, the thing is, she was just using me for her attention. And I could never really figure her out. I know she was attracted to me. She was giving me a lot of choosing signals in real life. Playing with her hair. She was, even her titties were touching me. But, when it came to business, bro, she was not, up for it. And that's okay. And a lot of women will be with you because you're attractive, and that you raise their status, just like with this chick that I told you about a second ago. She knew that when I was hanging with her, when other women and when other men saw her with me, that raised the bar for her. She was being perceived as more attractive, and that's how it is, and you're going to be in these situations from time to time. So that's a real thing. And even when it comes to men, I really don't know how to explain. Like, you're gonna, like, a lot of people will pretend to be your friend, and a lot of people will just straight up objectify you. They're just going to focus on your looks. It's almost like it's very hard to build like that authentic and real relationship with people, which actually leads me to my next point, number three. Women are not going to trust you. A lot of women will put up walls when they're just about to meet you. A lot of women will play games with you. A lot of women will play hard to get. And even though in real life, they're going to be very open to you. They're going to be talkative. They're going to, do all the women shit. They're going to, apply some lipstick. They're going to play with their hair. They're going to, position their body in a very sexual way. But at the same time, you're never really going to be sure if they're doing it because they like you or if it's just for attention, right? And a lot of them are going to put up walls. And as much as I talk a lot about this on my channel, sure, I mean, a lot of that attraction is instant, but at the same time, usually the next day she's going to be thinking about it. She's going to be like, I'm not sure if this guy's going to take me seriously. And usually they go up, they usually go to all their stupid girlfriends for dating advice, and that's when it's terrible. So yeah, a lot of women are going to assume that you're a player. A lot of women will think that you're a bad boy and that you're just going to, smash women all the time, and that you're never going to be committed to them, that you're never going to give them the chance. And even though, a lot of that, even though you're going to get a lot of attention on dating apps and social media, still, I find it's usually very shallow. It's very superficial, and that's a real thing. And even though you're a good guy, you're not trying that hard, bro. A lot of these women will take it the wrong way. It's going to, rubs them the wrong way. And that's how it is. That's the bottom line. And for the record, I'm not saying that all women are like that, but you're going to meet a big portion of women who will test you very hard. They're going to put up walls. They're going to play hard to get. They're going to act like they're the prize, because a lot of women are not used to that experience of you being the prize. It's usually them who are the prize, but with you, it's different. It's almost like, it's almost like the tide is switch at that point, if you get what I'm saying here. But yeah, you're going to attract a lot of shallow people, even with women, and they're going to put up walls. It's almost like they're going to have when you're speaking to them, it's almost like their guard is going to be up, and you're going to have to usually go through all these barriers just to talk to them. And it's weird, but I'm not saying all women are like that. I usually find that and also at the same time, you're going to meet women who will be very attracted to you from the beginning, right away. But usually, when the second week comes around, or just right after you've dated the chick, she's gonna put up some walls because she's unsure about you. She knows that she's gonna have to deal with a lot of competition and a lot of attention from other women, and they know that you're gonna get validation 24/7, and they're so not used to it. So, number 4, next point. When you're attractive, you're going to be met with a lot of unrealistic expectations. Meaning, when you're attractive, a lot of people, and by the way, this is a point, this is something that I talk a lot about on my channel. I think I talked about it on my last video. When you're attractive, it's almost like you raise the bar. Every single other stat in your life has to be on point. Meaning, if you're a Chad, if you're really good looking, a lot of women or people in general will assume that your life is perfect, that your money is on point, that your social skills are on point, your body is on point, that your social status is on point, and yada yada, right? It's almost like they create all these stories in their mind. But when you're not him, let's say you're attractive but you're poor, you still live with your parents, that's a turnoff. Like, actually, I would say, if you're over the age of 20 and you're attractive and you still live with your parents, a lot of women are going to think that you're a pussy. a lot of women will put these labels on you, bro. It's almost like they have this prejudice, and they're going to be very judgmental, just like what I told you about with men. They're going to have this judgment right from the beginning, and it does make it harder, right? And that's a real thing. It's a real thing, especially at work. You can always be a good guy. You can always perform very well. You can have amazing results, and you can, do everything in order. But people will always, look for all these little pain points. People will always try to find like that little crack in your armor, and it's ostracizing, definitely. Especially if you're actually trying to put some effort in, bro. It is a pain in the ass. So, last but not least, and this is going to be a bonus one, gentlemen. I'm doing it for you because I'm very generous. I'm doing my acts of benevolence here. Number 5, masculinity is going to be questioned when you're attractive. Meaning, in other words, when you're attractive, it's almost like you can't be masculine. It's just about your looks, right? It's almost like you can't have money. It's almost like you can't be strong and masculine and be a family man. And you're going to be met with a lot of that kind of expectation when you talk to people. And it's so funny, man, because this happens wherever you go. Literally, I'm not kidding you. And so this can be a harder battle. It's almost like you're fighting this monster. Like it's an uphill battle, essentially. And it's a tough call. It's a tough call. But the thing is, this is why you have to try your best, and you have to really, when you're talking to people, you have to show them that you're a good guy. You have to show them that you're confident, that you have no weaknesses. Because, bro, people will look for your weaknesses. Men and women, they're going to dig for your weaknesses. They're going to look, especially when you're talking to women, they're going to try to find everything about you. Your story, your history, what you're doing in your free time, bro. They're going to stalk you. And so this is why you can't have any skeletons in your closet. Right? So this is some food for thought, by the way. It's a real thing. And with that being said, gentlemen, you have to try. You have to be a good man, and don't be fazed by all these women and all these lames who are trying to pull you down. But yes, just to wrap it up, guys. You're going to be met with a lot of hostility and a lot of heavy judgment and a lot of jealousy from men when you're attractive, especially when women are involved, bro. Even your friends, bro, even people who you think are your friends, they're always going to have these types of preconceived notions and beliefs about you. Even though you're a good guy, you're their best friend, you're always being there for them, bro, they're going to overlook that. They're going to completely ignore that. And just the same thing with women. You can be a perfect guy, you can be really sweet and everything. You're always trying to make her happy, but women will just take it the wrong way. They may look at you as a short-term option, as a viable short-term option, but they're not gonna necessarily trust you. They're not gonna believe that you're gonna, take them seriously, right? And also, we're just kind of circling back here. It's just like you're just going to attract a lot of, vanity and a lot of fake people into your life right away. And it's a tough battle. It really is. Because, it can be, I definitely think that when you're attractive as a man, it is much harder to find real and authentic friendships. Because people will always put up walls. People will always question your intentions and your behavior as a man. They're just not going to trust you. And it is a hard battle. It does make it more difficult. But I strongly believe that if you're trying your best, at some point, you're gonna find some good people. So be a good man. Don't be fazed by all these low quality women and all these jackasses who are trying to, just deteriorate you. Right? Don't be affected by it. Because you are your own boss. So don't jeopardize your progress. I know that things can get very lousy at times, but don't be beating around the bush, right? release the cat and be the strong man you are. That's how it is, you know. But yeah, you're going to, like, I think the biggest thing for me that's really hard for me, like a hard pill to swallow for me, is the fact that you're going to be criticized a lot, even by your friends. And you know, it does make it a little bit lonely at times, and you can definitely feel like you're isolated from the crowd, because you're like a different animal, bro. So I think I'm gonna, you know, end it here because I'm kind of talking in circles now. But yeah, guys, it was all beans. I hope you all liked it here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Stay strong, guys, and thank you so much for watching. See ya.